aka MegaBlitzz, back, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how I beat a Snorlax Stall deck in the most unconventional way possible. But before we get into all that, don't forget to leave a like, smash the subscribe button, drop a comment down below, ring that little notification bell. I really do appreciate the support, guys. I really do. Thank you so much. But before we get into that, let's jump into a deck list of a Snorlax Stall deck just so you guys can see how much toolbox stuff this deck really has in it, because it's a lot. So let's jump into a Snorlax Stall deck list. Alrighty guys, and here we are with our Snorlax Stall deck list. With Snorlax's ability Block, as long as this Pokemon is in your active spot, your opponent's active Pokemon cannot retreat, which is insane. As our support and our draw engines here, we have Rotom V, Instant Charge, draw 3 cards, your turn ends. Pidgeot EX, to be able to just quick search, find whatever card you want. Mimikyu with its Safeguard ability, preventing damage from EXs and Vs. Really strong, because you can just have it just sit up in the active, and if they can't go like Cross Stitcher or Escape Rope or Boss, it's going to sit up there for a while, so you can usually stall for a couple turns to get your stuff kind of rolling. Pidgeot V with its Vanishing Winds, be able to put things back into your hand and then just shuffling things around. We never use its Flight Surf because we don't run any energies in this deck. 4 Iono, 3 Boss, 3 Penny. Penny putting things, just basic Pokemon back into our hand. Boss, we able to switch things around so we can put the things that we want in our opponent's active spot that they can't retreat out of. So like a Babbarrel, you normally would never attack with Babbarrel in a match, but you might have to if you're playing against a Stall deck to be able to win, right? So being able to just go Boss, up Babbarrel, figure it out, right? Misfortune Sisters, look at the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck, discard any items you find there. Not only do you get knowledge, but you also get to slowly mill your opponent out, which is one of the more unconventional ways to win a Pokemon game, because normally you would just take 6 prizes and win, right? But in this deck, you're trying to slowly stall your opponent out and control the game to where they run out of cards in their deck by milling them. We play Cyllene, flip 2 coins, put any number of cards of heads that you get from your discard pile into your on top of your deck in any order. So if you hit 2, you put 2 cards. 1, you put 1, and then it goes on the top of your deck, right? And you get to pick in what order they go on. Of course, experiment, just to be able to kind of get things we want and just put stuff in the loss that we don't really care about. It doesn't matter. Sidney, your opponent reveals their hand, so you get knowledge, which is good. Discard up to any 2 combination of tools, special energies, and stadiums you find there. That's really good, especially playing against like Lugia. Just discard 2 special energies. Discard your Ultra Ball to find your Lugia V-Star. Discard Capturing Aroma, Messagoza, Path to the Peak. Just really nice control card there. Giacomo, discard special energy from each of your opponent's Pokemon. That's really good in certain matchups against Lugia or Mew by chance. You know, Rapid Box with Rapid Strike, Ultra and Teleon is really good. Erika's Invitation. Your opponent reveals their hand, more knowledge. You put a basic Pokemon you find there onto their bench. If you put a basic Pokemon onto their bench this way, you can switch it into the active spot. So if they're holding something in their hand that they don't want to bench because they don't want you to boss's orders it, you can force it out with Erika's Invitation in this deck. 4 Nest Balls, 4 Ultra Balls to be able to just get our stuff set up and get the Pokemon we need out onto a field as fast as we can. 4 Crushing Hammers to be able to discard energies. 3 Pal Pads so we can keep putting, you know, Sidneys or Giacomos or whatever supporter we need in that matchup to be able to win us that game. Or Misfortune Sisters, just keep milling your opponent. 3 Rare Candies so we can evolve our Pidgey into our Pidgeot EX. 1 Echoing Horn to clog up the bench, or to, you know, if they go Collapse Stadium, discard whatever they don't want anymore. You know, Drapion V, right? You can go, okay, get rid of Collapse Stadium somehow, Echoing Horn, Drapion V, Boss. And then, boom. That's just insane, right? Now they can't retreat out of it. Bravery Charm to boost up our Rotoms and our Mimikyus and our Pidgeot Vs and our Snorlaxes. Snorlax, 200 hit points on a single prize Pokemon, that's insane. That's so much. For a Steel Stone is just an additional find whatever card I want to go along with our quick search. Pokemon League Headquarters. Attacks of each basic Pokemon cost 1 more. Sableye, you know, Miraidon decks, Single Strike Lugia decks, Colorless Lugia decks, all kinds of decks right now use basic Pokemon that do big damage, or how the deck is entirely based altogether. So that was a really strong card because we're never attacking in this deck, so we don't care. And 1 Beach Court just as like a pivot in early game for us to be able to get things all set up and moved around here. This deck is really cool. I would love to play a Snorlax Stall deck at some point in time. I just don't know if I have the mental fortitude to sit there and, you know, psych my opponent out and do all this stuff for a 50-minute game. It's insanely long to play this deck. So, let's jump in to the gameplay of me beating the Snorlax Stall deck in the most unconventional way possible. Alrighty guys, and here we are with the gameplay. Just to give a quick little recap of what actually happened in this game. So my opponent has gotten a lot of things set up, right? He's got the Pidgeot set up, he's got 2 Snorlaxes, he's used his 4 Seal Stones, still that's out there and ready to go. He's got Rotom to be drawing cards. I've only taken 1 prize. My Bidoof's stuck in the active spot. I can't retreat out of it. I can't attack with it unless I have 3 energies on it, right? I'm playing Arceus Goodra with Alolan Vulpix, just testing random decks and having a good time on the ranked ladder. I did run in this on ranked, which is insane to me. So, real quick, my opponent has 7 cards in hand and 7 in deck. I have 6 in hand and 11 in deck. But my opponent plays the Cyllene card. Flip coins, put things on the top, right? So he whiffs on this one here, which means he can't put anything on the top. And then he passes to me. We're going to draw, we get an Arceus, and I'm just going to pass back. And this is kind of what the game turns into, is me just, can I attack with Bidoof? Can I find a barrel? Can I get things rolling here? I've already used my V-Star ability because I've already Starburst. You know, he has already used 4 Crushing Hammers. He's using that Cyllene card, and he's just trying to keep putting things in the back of his, on the top of his deck, so he can have more cards than I have, right? So I'm just like trying to check stuff. He's already used more Misfortune Sisters, so he could be putting those back in, but he's not, right? So I do actually end up attaching the water energy to the Bidoof here, and the reason is because I believe in the moment when I was playing that I had a boss left, but it was actually in my prizes, which is not ideal. But then my opponent bosses up my Hisuian Goodra V-Star that now I'm just like, okay, now this game gets really complicated. But I'm so invested. Like, I was like, I can win this game. I can win this game. So I don't give up, right? For a second there, I think about putting the Vengeful Punch on something, but I'm like, you know what? No. I'm just going to keep draw passing. Because I have a feeling that my opponent is running out of gas, right? He's running out of things to do. So he's going to Cyllene here again, and he's only going to get 1. And that's the thing, right? Is our opponent is playing Cyllene. And if he keeps hitting 1 or 2, he has to keep using Pal Pad and such to just keep putting things in the back on the top of his deck again, right? He has to keep doing this over and over and over and over again. So he's going to instant charge. He's going to draw 2, which I believe to be a mistake. I feel like you should have just not and just passed. So I'm going to pass back. And before this actually whole thing happened, I had actually played Iono, and he did the like grr emoji because he was upset because I was down, you know, to a certain number of cards, and I was like, Iono. So all right, he's gonna Pal Pad here, put both Cyllene back into the deck, and then shuffle up. So he's gonna quick search, find a Cyllene, play another Cyllene. Nope, actually, sorry, he finds a Pal Pad. That's right, he finds Pal Pad, and then he grabs Sidney Boss, and I believe this is where the game gets pretty entertaining, because then I go, all right, Path, you can't find any more cards you want, so I'm forcing you to draw into everything, and it just gets so much, it's so much fun. All right, so he's gonna look at my hand, he's gonna discard my Vengeful Punch because I have no energies, right? So now he knows that my hand, there's nothing going on in this hand, guys. I got nothing. I can Ultra Ball, you know, I can research, but why would I research, right? Because then I'm making my hand smaller. I could potentially, I would deck myself if I did that. And I don't care to attach energies because if I draw an Iono or he plays an Iono, I want to have as many cards as possible in my hand because I need to have more than him, right? So he's going to Pidgeot V. He's going to be able to force Seal Stone. Yep, grab the Cyllene and flip and miss both. It feels so good to see him miss both there. I literally remember just like cheering. I'm like, yes, yes, he missed him, yes. So I'm going to pass back. And this was probably one of the most fun games I ever had playing Pokemon. I'm not going to lie. It was tons of fun. Cyllene, and he's going to only hit 1. So he's going to be able to put one card back into the deck, and we all know what he grabs. It's going to be, I'm pretty sure he puts Pal Pad back in, because that's how the deck tries to work, right? You're trying to like Pal Pad and keep grabbing Cyllenes and keep just going. So I do find Iono, so I could Iono if I need to, right? So he's going to Pal Pad again and put 2 cards back in. He's going to put both Cyllenes back into the deck. And this just kind of goes, right? This clip is pretty long, I won't lie. All right, pass back. And I just need him to just whiff on these Cyllenes, right? I need him to eventually whiff. So he's going to Cyllene, flip 2. He's going to whiff, and he's going to whiff. He's going to get double tails. And that's what we need to happen, right? We can't be having him do anything, right? So I'm just going to draw, and then I'm going to play an Iono. I'm going to put everything back to the bottom of the deck. Draw 5. He's going to draw back up, because now I'm in a position where if he draws and gets Cyllene to hit 1 time, then I'm kind of just screwed, right? I can't do anything. But he's going to hit double tails again, and we love it, because now I believe I check his prizes, and he only plays 3 Pal Pads. All 3 Pal Pads are in the deck. I have more cards left in my deck than he does, so if he has no way to recursion anything, I just win the game, right? If he has no way to put anything else back into his discard pile, I'm going to win. And that's just how the game ends up going. So he's going to pass again, I believe. I don't think he does anything else. Yeah, so, okay, so now, okay, yeah. So now we get into, like, we're draw passing. We're doing draw pass, we're doing draw pass, and that's just what we end up doing. Yep. Draw. Pass. And that's just kind of the game. That's what the game turns into, right? The game just turns into draw pass, draw pass, draw pass for a good amount of turns here. And it is pretty entertaining. I remember just, like, sitting there in my chair and going, you know, this is probably more frustrating for my opponent than me, because if he can't draw any way to recursion any cards, then I'm just going to win. So he's going to Penny. He's going to put some stuff back into his hand. He's going to put that other Snorlax back into his hand and hope that I play another Iono. But I'm just smashing the end turn button, you know, smashing it, because I want this game to end. Because I do believe that I can win this game. So he's going to pick up another thing. He's going to pick up Pidgeot V with 4 Sealstone, and he's going to hope that I just judge or Iono, and I don't. I pass back. So now I put our opponent in the position where you need to have recursion, because I have more deck than you. I have 2 cards left in deck, you have 0. So you need to find some way to get things back into the deck. And our opponent doesn't get it. He doesn't end up finding anything, and it was so great to win this way, and I cannot express enough how much fun it is. But let's talk more about it in that outro. Alright, guys, and that's how I beat a Snorlax Stall deck in the most unconventional way possible. The best way to beat a Stall deck is to be the Stall deck. So that was tons of fun, and I'm so glad that that happened to me and I got to share it with you guys. If you guys like this kind of content, don't forget to leave a like, smash the subscribe button, drop a comment down below. Tell me if you've played against the Stall deck, and if you have, did you win? And if you did win, how did you win? Did you become the Stall deck? And don't forget to ring the notification bell. Alright, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace!